Right. Hello, everyone. I'm Manasa Bollapragada. I'm a 10th grader at Folsom High School in Northern California, and I'd like to thank you all for taking the time to listen to my presentation about my research on healthy food accessibility for the economic development in the city of Rancho Cordova, California. I plan to start by sharing my motivation behind this research, along with the current state of access to healthy foods. I will then cover the research methods used along with a summary of my findings before sharing the overall takeaways and impacts this research has for the city. I'll finish by sharing possible ideas for future study and boundaries we need to overcome to aid policymaking before opening up the floor for any questions. Also, feel free to ask some questions if any do come up. Why access to affordable, healthy food matters. My motivation behind wanting to study access to affordable, healthy food stems from the lack of healthy food options, particularly in areas of the city heavily populated by minorities or lower income citizens. This problem matters because healthful and economic food inaccessibility has a great impact on residents' health. Studies found that people who lack of nutritious food experience obesity, cancer, or other chronic diseases such as heart disease or diabetes, as well as economic backwardness for their whole lifetime. This problem is also worldwide, but more specifically, this problem has an impact on California as well. According to the 2022 US Census data, there are over 39 million people living in California, with 12.2% of the population living in poverty. Another reason that added to my interest on wanting to study this problem is because despite the prevalence of food insecurity in California, there's little research on the extent of food inaccessibility and limited knowledge of the factors that impact access to healthy food. I wanted to start with a quote by Larson from the 2009 article on neighborhood environments that I referenced in my research paper. Healthy food accessibility and economic food accessibility constitute a major food security problem in many cities and towns worldwide, which lead to chronic health issues due to the lack of nutrition.
Manasa, will you reshare your screen? It seems like we are looking at the browser and not your PowerPoint itself.
Oh, okay.
Sorry to interrupt. Thank you. Now we're looking at, yep, the NEEM score sheet.
Yeah, hold on, can you guys see my?
Yep, perfect.
Perfect. All right. To address this concern, I first utilized the Neighborhood Scout website to identify the top neighborhoods within Folsom and Rancho Cordova, California, that presented the greatest disparities in income. Next, I used Google Maps to choose grocery stores and supermarkets within Folsom and Rancho Cordova neighborhoods. Now that I've identified the stores, I utilized the Nutrition Environment Measures Survey as an in-store assessment to measure economic and healthful food accessibility. After collecting all my data, I inputted the findings into Google Sheets and calculated the points from each section to find the average of the prices and variety of healthy food items each store had. The data table above presented in the slide shows the scores for each store that was assessed, and the highlighted box indicates that the store in the lower income area of Rancho Cordova scored the lowest, showing that this store has significantly lower availability of healthier items compared to the other stores as shown in this table. The box highlighted shows that stores in lower income neighborhoods of Rancho Cordova scored only 14, whereas the stores in the higher income neighborhoods scored nearly double. This data table shows the scores of the prices of healthy food in each of the stores in lower income neighborhoods, as well as higher income neighborhoods in each city. The boxes highlighted in yellow with the scores that are negative indicate that those items in those stores have higher prices for their healthier food items. This data table shows the significant difference in the NEMSS scores for the pricing of healthful food items between food stores in low and high income areas. The above difference implies that the pricing differential between healthy and regular items in lower income neighborhoods is higher than in higher income neighborhood stores in the cities of Rancho Cordova and Folsom. Moving on now, I'll be sharing the takeaways from my research as well as the impact this problem has on the city and its people. I have found that due to the higher prices on the healthy foods in lower income areas, that minorities are likely to choose unhealthier food simply because that is what they can afford. And this problem has not been addressed yet by grocery stores in lower income neighborhoods. The fact that the grocery stores in lower income neighborhoods have higher prices for their healthy food compared to the higher income neighborhoods is something we should be concerned about, since minorities cannot afford such prices for the nutrition they all deserve. To expand more on this problem and the constraints it causes, I feel that more people should be made aware of how much of an impact healthy food accessibility has in the various aspects. People should also be aware of the price gouging that these stores are aiding to, and more research may be beneficial as well to determine the full extent of the barriers. There are a few other barriers that were researched and found in the US that also contribute to the limitation of access to healthy food, which includes ethnic food stores, which have not been researched well. Specifically in Rancho Cordova, there are not many grocery stores or supermarkets. Most of them are mom and pop stores or grocery stores mixed with liquor stores, which is not ideal. There are very few grocery stores in the area and those that are there have a limited variety of healthy food being sold. Another barrier in Rancho Cordova is that there are many fast food restaurants and liquor stores than grocery stores as well, promoting unhealthy food intake for an affordable price rather than having the healthy food be affordable. Lastly, distance plays a role in being a barrier. For the proper grocery stores are not at a convenient distance for lower income citizens, as most do not have a car or means of transportation, making it harder for them. To further address and take action, I feel that it would be helpful to bring the problem to grocery stores managers' attention in lower income neighborhoods in Rancho Cordova and Folsom to give them the opportunity to address this problem. A few next steps that I thought could be beneficial is potential new city pricing policies to ensure grocery stores keep price differential between healthy foods and regular foods the same in both higher income neighborhoods as well as lower income neighborhoods. Another one was working with city councils and state legislative councils or health and economic development departments to develop a broader policy framework, or even campaigning in communities to raise awareness on lifelong impacts of not choosing healthy food, as well as internships with students and community members to come up with activities or ideas to help address and find possible solutions to this problem as well. I'd also like to take the time to acknowledge my mentors from Polygence, Oysel, and Carmen, who helped me with my research and putting together my project over the last year. Thank you all for your time and opportunity to share my research as well as my ideas with you all.
Awesome job.
Are there any questions?
Okay. Yeah. So, question, what was the most unexpected thing you learned in this research?
The most unexpected thing was, well, I went to each of these, I chose 4 stores to go to, 2 in each of the cities. In Rancho Cordova, it was more like I didn't know that there was not that many grocery stores, and also the healthy items, there wasn't that many varieties of that being sold in the very few stores that were there. Whereas that's completely different case in Folsom, where I live. So it was like very much like that difference. Like I've never seen that. So that was very unexpected, yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for sharing. Wonderful job.
Mhm.
Congratulations.